our pillows.
Pillows.
And we got our snacks.
Snacks.
So we're ready for this road trip. But we want to know, are you? Be sure to like, comment, or if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe.
And don't forget about the free study guide in the comments.
So, we're ready for this road trip. And you probably are too. So, come on, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Day 2 of our new series.
Road trip.
So glad that you're joining with us. I hope that you enjoyed the first video. It's probably going to be the longest one. We're going to try to make the rest of these shorter. But Joseph was just such a big story to get through.
It's 10 whole chapters. That's huge.
Yeah. But man, the ups and downs, the hills and the valleys of his life makes you really think, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Have you ever been on a trip? We were on a trip one time. Did we say this? We may have said this. I was coming down a hill. This is going to be somewhere in South Dakota, I think it was. And it was late one night. We were coming down the hill and we were losing brakes on our vehicles. And all you could see was runaway ramps. And it was like, okay, that's what those are for. It was a scary moment. But as others in our lives, it feels like that. But if we'll just let God be in control, we won't have any runaways.
Stray mosquito.
It's going to be, well, you're going to hear a lot of mosquitoes, I'm sure. And the locusts are out making their beautiful noises. So today, who are we talking about?
We're talking about Jonah.
Jonah.
And so don't worry, it's only 4 chapters, but we're going to go fast because they're short.
And so the sign today is the wrong way.
Wrong way.
Boy, if you know the story of Jonah, that's about perfect for that, isn't it? And so we're going to tune into the book of Jonah.
You have a wrong way story. When you were actually driving. Back when you worked for the funeral home.
I had a couple of those over there, so...
You remember you were in, I don't remember what town, but it was a bigger city, I thought.
Well, actually, I was down in Muskogee one time, and I went to turn.
It was like 3 a.m, right?
Yeah. I went to turn from the VA clinic back on the Highway 69 go north. And I think it's like an 8-lane road there. But in my mind, I was still thinking it was a 4-lane. And I pulled into a turning lane going the wrong direction. And so I had to back up and adjust. But, you know, we didn't have to tell everybody that.
We told them we'd have stories.
Well, okay. Well, that's one story.
And this is a wrong way story.
Yeah. I've also gone the wrong way one time because, like Miami, okay, it's confusing.
How can you not go the wrong way in Miami?
Yeah, like your side streets are one way, and it's just like, but do you have 4 lanes on a one-way or 3 lanes on a one-way? Like, why can't we go back north?
Yeah.
I don't know why everything's got to go. Anyways, not a big deal. But sometimes you go the wrong way. Well, let's jump into what Jonah was talking about.
Yeah, so just a little background on Jonah. Jonah has the nickname of the reluctant prophet.
Yep. So
you have some like the weeping prophet and stuff like that, but he's the reluctant prophet. Jonah is a prophet in the time of Jeroboam II, and you'll find that story. Oh, he was alive. I thought he was dead. Sorry. The mosquito. Not all of these guys are dead. Sorry. Of Jeroboam II in 2 Kings 14.
This road trip has already started off so wonderful.
So it's been a long day, guys. We have been painting. Izzy installed an air conditioner this morning.
A window unit. I didn't install an air conditioner.
Wow.
That sounded so nice.
We mowed. Like, it's just been a very long day of just go, go, go.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into this. So I'm just going to jump right in. We're in Jonah chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for the port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord.
Oh, what a stupid move. And yet many of us have done that. Have you ever you knew God told you to do something, but you didn't do it. You just kind of walked the other way. Maybe God told you to pray for somebody, or God told you to go speak and encourage somebody. And you're just like, I just think I'm going to look goofy. I just think I'm going to look silly. I just don't think I'm supposed to do that. And the regret that you had, you know. Well, here we have Jonah doesn't just go the opposite direction. He gets a boat to go completely the opposite direction.
Yes. And so we don't hear why he ran yet. You stick around, you'll hear it. But we do know that Nineveh is the wicked capital city of Assyria. And Assyria is the pagan empire of the enemies dominating Israel at this time. Thank you. We're just going to get eaten alive by mosquitoes. And so if you want more information on that, you can go to Nahum 1-3. And it gives you more about the wickedness of Nineveh. And so what happens after?
So he gets on a boat, he goes out there, and then God sends a big old storm.
Mm-hmm.
And the sailors on this boat, they're not believing in God. They're believing in their own gods and their own things. But this storm is raging so bad and so crazy, they don't know what to do. And they're trying to throw stuff overboard. They're trying to make it, they're doing everything they can to save the ship, and nothing's happening.
Yeah,
And
so they cast lots to see.
Well, first they go down and realize that Jonah is asleep in the bottom of the boat.
Yeah, they say, get up, call on your God. Like, we're all calling on our gods. Do your part, man.
Yeah, what is wrong with you? Maybe your God will hear you. Maybe your God's real enough that he'll do something about it. Get up. Why are you asleep in the bottom of the boat? I want to remind you, a little footnote there is that's a very unique and similar story to Jesus being asleep in the middle of the storm with his disciples. Some of you probably know that already. And if you'll take the story of Jesus and you'll try to correlate it here with Jonah, you'll see a lot of similarities, and it's very interesting. So then they cast lots to see whose fault is it that this horrible storm has come upon us, and why can we not get out of it?
Yeah, a lot falls on Jonah.
Yeah, and a lot would have been like rolling dice, okay? They've been like, you get a number, you get a number, you get a number. We're going to roll, and we're going to see until somebody, it's shown that they're the bad guy. So it's Jonah. And
so they start questioning him. Like, what kind of work do you do? Like, who do you serve? Like, what are you doing? Why is your God mad at you, essentially?
Yeah.
And Jonah has, like, the craziest response because he says, I'm a Hebrew. Like, I serve God. The God, I think he says, of heaven who made the seas and the dry land. But he ran away from God to the sea. But he knows God controls the sea. Like, that was a dumb move, man.
Well, he couldn't have stayed on the land because God controls the land too.
Right? But it just doesn't make sense that he's running, right?
He was just wanting to get the fastest form of transportation, which would have been to be on a boat and to get as far away, because many of us think that we can outrun God's calling on our life. And the truth is this: your calling is to be obedient. That's it. Be obedient. So wherever he says to go, whatever he says to do, you go and do it. And you can spend the rest of your life running from God. You can say, I'm not going to do what God says to do.
Yeah.
But you will only find misery. You will only be stuck in a storm. And you might get some sleep in the bottom of a boat, but everybody will know that you're not doing what you're called to do. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
So story continues, and he says, you know what? The best way to fix this, just throw me overboard.
Yeah.
So we don't know, is he being noble here? Is he being selfish? Because then it's like, oh, well, then I won't have to go if I'm dead.
I think he just says,
just kill me.
I think he's saying, just throw me over, because he has no vision of salvation on this. He just goes, well, I disobeyed God, but I guess I'll just die. I guess I'll just die. So they pick him up. Now they say, God, don't hold him against us. They try everything else, but they say, God, don't hold this against us. They throw him overboard, and as soon as they do, the sea becomes calm. And they all begin to give glory and glorify the God of Jonah. It's funny. God said, go tell Nineveh to change their ways. He's telling them, go preach to them. And here, because of the disobedience of Jonah, these men on this boat now come to a knowledge of God. So even our mistakes, even those moments we're running away, God will still redeem it for his glory.
Yeah.
But it'll be miserable as it goes. So he goes down. He gets seaweed wrapped around his head. Darkness is falling upon him. He's drowning in the ocean or in the sea. And then a great big fish. Not a whale. I want it to be a whale, but it's not a whale. It's a great big fish comes and swallows him up.
Yeah. And Jonah is in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights.
Kind of like Jesus being in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights.
Yeah. So that's what we see in chapter 2 is this happens. Jonah starts praying because he realizes he's not dead. So he starts praying. And it really sounds like, if you read it, that he's repenting.
Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds like he's had a change of heart. He talks about how, like, those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them. But I, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you. So it's like he's kind of realizing that not obeying was just as bad as people sacrificing to idols.
Right.
And so you think, ooh, this is a big turning point. Like, heck yeah, let's go. So I'm going to read what happens in chapter 3, verses 1-3. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Oh, this is after the fish.
Yeah. The fish shows up. Jonah prays, and then God says, I'm going to allow you to continue. and the fish throws him up.
Yeah, that's the end of chapter 2.
Blech.
On to dry land.
Out comes Jonah and probably like all the half-eaten fish,
ugh.
the vile. Oh, and he stinks. You gotta think about being Jonah. Like, you stink so bad, you probably wish you was dead. I mean, how do you get that out? And then think about it. If Jonah had a mustache and a beard,
Oh.
how do you get that stank out of your face?
There's like things Izzy refuses to eat because he can't get the stink out of his beard if he eats it.
Like, why would you do that to yourself? But that's what Jonah's stinky man. Okay.
So chapter 3. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you. Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh. Now Nineveh was a very large city, and it took 3 days to go through it. And so he goes through and he says, he went about a day's journey into the city, proclaiming 40 more days and Nineveh will be overthrown or overturned.
Yeah. Now remember, we've had days since the first time God said, go tell them they got 40 days. 40 days did not start whenever Jonah chose obedience. 40 days started at the proclaiming that it would be 40 days from Jonah. He had to go proclaim it for it to be those 40 days.
So what sticks out to me about this is that he's going the right direction. He obeys. But if you kind of listen to what he said, it still doesn't sound like his heart's in it. Because he just says 40 days, Nineveh's overturned. He doesn't tell them by God. He doesn't tell them repent or this will happen. He doesn't tell them what to do. And so it sounds like he's still not really hoping that they'll actually repent and turn.
Yeah, he's more of like a news, just bringing the news.
Yeah,
like,
this is what's going to happen.
God's going to kill you in 40 days, just so you know. And so, but we see that the whole place of Nineveh just stops. It's just like, whoa. Because when God sends you on a mission, even if your heart's not in it, God still will use it.
Yeah.
But you could be going the right direction, doing the right things, but be
still doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I realized when we were doing the study is even when he was told to go and he went the wrong way.
Yeah.
The wrong direction.
Right.
And then even when he did decide to go the right direction, he did it in the wrong way.
Right.
And that's what we're going to see through these last 2 chapters is he's still doing things in the wrong way. And so he tells the people this, and to much surprise, like you even as the reader, you're like, this is a pagan city that does not believe in God. But verse 5 says, the Ninevites believed God. A fast was proclaimed, and all of them, from the greatest to the least, put on sackcloth. Even the king issues a decree that says, like, we're not eating until this is done. Like, even our animals are going to put on sackcloth.
Everybody,
like,
the whole
he
city
set
will
this
mourn.
huge example.
Yep. And so we find Jonah, who's sitting back watching this and going, well, it's time. 40 days is up. I think I'm going to go to probably a high place. I'm going to guess.
Well, and actually in verse 10, it says, when God saw that they were fasting, putting on sackcloth and calling out on God, they turned from their evil ways. He relented and did not bring on the great destruction that he had threatened them. So God just did outrageous mercy.
Grace, yeah. Mercy.
And grace. Jonah wanted justice. God gave grace.
Yeah.
And so now we find Jonah and he's up on this high place, this hill to overlook the city. Because he's still hoping, it just says to see what would happen.
Yeah. He still wants God to bring justice. He still wants God to take the enemies of his people and them and their wickedness and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because he loves God.
Yeah. He loves God.
And when he repents, he says, I should have been obedient to you, God. But he never came into a place of love for broken people.
Yeah. Can I read the beginning of chapter 4?
Yeah.
It says, but to Jonah this seemed very wrong. That's God forgiving them. And he became angry. He prayed to the Lord. Isn't this what I said, Lord, when I was still at home? That is what I tried to forestall by fleeing Tarshish. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity. Now, Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live.
Wow.
He's that dramatic and ticked off that God had the audacity to show grace on who he wanted to show grace to.
Yeah. I would rather,
Oh,
if you will, I would rather be dead and justice be done against the enemies of Israel than for you, God, to walk in your grace and your mercy and bring love, bring forgiveness, bring wholeness, bring healing to people. Boy, look in our lives. Are there times that we demand justice above mercy? Are there times that we want things to be done right because we're legalistic? Boy, that's so me. And in reality, God's saying, I just want to give grace right now over that situation. Justice comes. That happens. There's justice always happens. But let grace, let mercy reign.
Yeah.
Let God have a place. So Jonah's there on the hill.
yeah.
He's frustrated, but God tries to teach him something. So he causes a plant to grow up.
Yeah, and it shades Jonah, and he likes it.
Yeah, it's a pretty plant. He's got plenty of shade. He's like, oh, I'm going to sit here in the cool and I can watch this city and wait for God to blow it up.
Yeah, hopefully it burns, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of what his thought was. But then God sends a worm, and it eats up the plant.
Now that worm, he didn't try to go to Joppa, okay? That worm said, you told me to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go eat. How many of you just wish God called you to eat? Like, that's me. Like, send me. God, call me to Brahms for ice cream. Do that for me. Sorry.
And so the plant withers. And so after that, God sends this scorching heat. And Jonah's like, again, just kill me. Just kill me, God. I want to die. He wanted to die, and he said it would be better for me to die than to live. And so then I'm going to read the remaining part of Jonah. Okay. And it says, so those are Jonah's last words, by the way, in his whole book, is I just want to die. But God has the last words of the book. And it says, but God said to Jonah, is it right for you to be angry about the plant? Oh, he says it is. And I'm so angry, I wish I were dead. But the Lord said, you have been concerned about this plant. Though you did not tend it or make it grow, it sprang up overnight and died overnight. And should I not have concern for this great city of Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right hand from their left, and also many animals? That's the way it ends, guys. We don't hear Jonah's answer. We don't hear Jonah repent. We don't hear him say, oh, yeah, no, I get it now, God. People are important.
Right.
No, we just see what God's heart was for why he sent Jonah. And so it's just so sad that Jonah could not handle God showing mercy to his enemies. And I know that we're not in a world really where we have enemies, but are we okay with God showing mercy instead of justice to those that we think deserve his justice?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
And when we say the word justice, we're meaning that punishment.
Yeah, punishment.
And I think that we do need to be people who seek with the mercy of God way more than what we do. As we wrap it up, just remember today that you can be going the wrong way out of disobedience, and God still cares about you.
Yeah.
But you also could be going what you believe is the right way. You could be doing the things God said to do, but you could be doing it the wrong way because your heart's not right.
Yeah. And that is my other big takeaway is God's workers are sometimes the bigger obstacle. Jonah was the bigger obstacle. He was more resistant to God's directions and God's moving than the pagans were that he was ministering to.
Right.
Like, they immediately turned.
Right.
Jonah ran away, but the people that,
people who were lost, the people who were
they turned
more
so
wicked
fast.
in our eyes,
right,
were the ones who needed to.
And so I think that's the thing of, like, if we're giving God a hard time because we don't want to do something, we're delaying the opportunity for somebody who may be so ready to turn.
Right. Right.
You know?
So, tonight or today, what's your snapshot? And what's your takeaway? Write it down, draw a picture, let us know. We'd like to know a little bit what's going on with your side of the study and how it's going. Thank you so much for printing off that PDF and teaming up with us doing this. Tomorrow we're going to jump into U-Turn. It's going to be the one we look at tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah.
Luke 2. I wonder what that's going to be about. And so, I mean, I know what it's about. Just so you know. But we're looking forward to continue down this road trip with y'all. Know that we love you, we care about you, and we're looking forward to what God is doing, to hear about what God is doing in your life and in your students as you continue to go down the road, going on the road trip in the Bible with us.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
Nope. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.